Welcome to OSG Live, where we inspire you to fall in love with your business. Get set to join your hosts, Tanya, Becky, Kylene, and Aaron for your weekly motivation. It's time to share your wins, express gratitude, and choose positive changes. Jump into the comments and share your thoughts with the rest of the OSG community. Coming up, OSG Wellness Super Tools to nourish your mind and body, small business success gems to uncover hidden gems of business excellence, and the uncommon mindset to challenge the status quo.
Your journey to success and happiness starts now.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to OSG Live. It's Woohoo Wednesday. It's been a really great week, and I'm looking forward to what is in store for today. I'm Tanya Deutscher with Gracie B. Doodle Designs.
And I'm Kylene Montgomery with Rise Shine Smile Yoga.
I'm Becky Kutzer with BK Custom Tees.
And I'm Aaron Montgomery with our Success Group, and I'm excited to be here this morning with the Fab Four as we inspire you to fall deeper in love with your business and just holistically, right? See, I put a new little tagline below me on the video screen today. I had an opportunity to talk with Stephanie Young, one of our friends who works with Caesar, last night, and we were just talking about that, right? The whole picture and why that's so important to be successful in business. So I know we've got some excellent conversation today about those topics, but Kylene, what's the best place for us to start off, though?
All right, we're going to start with our gratitude, as we like to bring as much positive energy to start our show as we can, and for all of us to start our day, because when we're in that state of gratitude, we're in a state of appreciation, and we're really, truly appreciating all the amazing things that we have in our life to be grateful for. So if you're listening, to share what you're grateful for this morning. Good morning, Darren. Thank you for joining. Good morning, Michelle. And good morning, Chuck. Thank you all for being here today. I can start today. I am grateful for my family. We were able to do a nice little celebration for my dad yesterday. Yesterday was his first birthday in heaven. So we made his favorite meal, and we went golfing the day before. So it was pretty special. So I'm grateful for that.
Oh, very nice. I love that. I'm grateful you can see I have a different background this week. I'm grateful to be at the house that my grandma left me in southern Iowa. It's just a nice getaway. You can see Asia circling behind me. She loves to be down here as well. So it's been a good week.
Good energy. Nice. How about you, Becky?
I'm grateful I still have my voice at the moment for the show. For whatever reason, every time there's a holiday, I get sick. So I am going to be spending the day making sure that I don't continue to get sick. So
yeah.
keep my voice for the show.
All right. Well, if it goes, we'll carry it. That's a great part about having people around. I'm extremely grateful for just the opportunity to get to kind of remember Stan, Kylene's dad, and the fact that I got to know him and have him as part of my life. You know, second dad. I'm really close with my dad, as some of you guys know, and so having somebody that I was close to that was another father figure was really special, and I just appreciate their family and getting to know him. He's around us all the time. I feel it all the time, so that's pretty cool. All right. Well, how's everybody else doing? There we go. Michelle's jumping in here. Thank you, Michelle, for participating. I'm grateful for yoga and the relaxation and stretching it gives me. Yeah, Tanya, tell us a little bit about that. I know that that happened last night.
Yeah, so on Tuesday nights, there is a channel called Master Badassery MOBA. It's a clothing brand, but also it's a whole mindset. My friend Sherry has it. And so every Tuesday, Kylene joins us and we do yoga on TikTok. So if you're on TikTok, please join us at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And if you want to check out Sherry's clothing, it's at mobamentality.com. It's helped me a lot, just with everything. It's not just about fitness, it's about your mental health and everything, and realizing that, yes, it's a swear word, but realizing that we're all badasses.
Yeah,
I love
that
that.
one's worthwhile, right? You got to get the point
Mhm.
across.
Yep.
So I love it. I love it. All right, good deal. Well, let's see here. We got I'm not sure exactly. I won't even try to pronounce it, but somebody's saying hello. Good morning. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you tuning in this morning. All right. Well, are you guys ready for the wellness super tools here this morning?
Mm-hmm.
All
It'll
right.
be a
Well,
good one.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Seems like we need it. So I'm excited. Let's do this. Here we go.
Hello.
Hello again.
Well, I'm excited for our topic. I think it's
Mhm.
something that we all know is important, but why it's important and what it can do if we don't have enough of it is kind of what
Mhm.
we're going to talk about so we can really thrive in our life. So that is sleep. The importance of sleep and all the crucial aspects that happen when we sleep and why we need to sleep. It's really critical in maintaining our overall health and well-being. And as small business owners, we go through phases where we're like on all the time, right? And so it's really important to have sleep be a priority for you as well, because it does have so many health benefits for us.
It really does. And from someone who has been very guilty over the years of not getting enough, it can do very bad things to your body. And this actually came up when we were at DAX. I was kind of giving Aaron a hard time because I know that he doesn't sleep a lot. And I got to thinking, I'm like, you know what? This is just a really important thing, especially it's important for everyone, but especially small business owners, because we get something in our head and we just want to keep going and going and going with it. Adequate sleep is not just a luxury, but it's a necessity for optimal functioning, especially for demands of running a business. You have all these things, and if in times of stress, you're thinking about that, and it's really hard to turn ourselves off. But sleep, it affects cognitive function, and I can attest to that. Brain fog is real if I don't get enough sleep. Decision making, creativity, also been there. I've went for long periods of time of not being able to design or have any, great ideas, just kind of getting by. And also problem solving. It's like I got nothing
Yeah.
when I'm like that. So these are all essential skills for navigating the challenges of entrepreneurship. So Kylene, why don't you tell us some of the impacts of sleep deprivation?
Yeah. There's so many things that happen when we're sleeping in our brain that is critical to our health. And so those short-term consequences when you're constantly sleep deprived, obviously what Tanya was just saying, your productivity goes down, your judgment goes down, right? You're just kind of in that state of fog or reaction. And so you might not respond to life's events in the way that you really want. You're not being intentional with that decision. Increased stress levels, that's a big one, right? Our cortisol increases in our body when we're stressed, and that has all those negative health benefits that we know. The health conditions that are like your heart disease, diabetes, mental health, anxiety and depression. Those are really big things that's impacted and can cause those things, right? When you're constantly fatigued. Our body truly needs that rest to restore, repair, organize all those daily activities that we've had and dump what we don't need and organize the rest and just repair itself.
Absolutely. Lack of sleep can lead to burnout. So watch out for those signs. These include persistent fatigue, irritability. My husband can attest to that one. Feelings of overwhelm, and for some, increase in pain, anxiety, and depression. For me, it's an increase in pain. When my pain level goes up, I'm like, okay, I think I maybe need to prioritize and go home early, take a nap. And in the past, I felt selfish for doing that. And I do not anymore. It's like, I need this. Acknowledging these signs early on and taking proactive steps to prioritize self-care will help those things. Sorry, my phone keeps beeping because Amazon employees are messaging.
Oh, no worries.
Take some time to take some deep breaths, go for a walk. There's lots of other suggestions in past episodes about self-care, and it doesn't have to be anything that costs money, but if you want to go for a massage, hey, I'm a proponent of that as well. So self-care is super important and is not selfish.
Most definitely. Yeah. We all have heard different strategies for better sleep. So we're going to share some with you today, and then just try different things that may work for you. Or if you already have a really good sleep routine, share with us. Karen wrote, sleep deprivation is a huge thing in the fire service, whether you're on or off duty. Oh, that's so true.
So Jay was a paramedic for years and a nurse for years. And part of why he ended up getting sick with cardiac stuff was from lack of sleep, poor diet, and just run for years. And so he is an example of a worst case scenario. Well, not worst case is if he wouldn't be here anymore, but of a really bad situation caused by lack of sleep, bad diet, and not prioritizing himself.
Yeah, it's huge. I see it a lot with the veterans too. I mean, depending on what type of service industry, like fire service, that they tend to go into, continuing that service, they put themselves in that environment again where you have to be on. It's not like you can just not take that call, right? If you're tired, right, you got to go. And so your body just kind of goes into automatic mode, right? You just kind of keep moving forward. But you can only do that so long before your body is just like, okay, I'm going to tell you in a different way, right? And that's where those health conditions show up, and the poor judgments and those types of things show up as your body is trying to tell you, okay, we need to rest. It's time. So how can you really create that better sleeping habit? A consistent schedule is awesome and ideal if you can do that. It really does get your body into a natural rhythm. I know that I'm finding that I can wake up before my alarm sometimes now that I've consistently been waking up around the same time, which is, it's nice sometimes to wake up naturally, right? And not by the alarm. I'm not saying I haven't started snoozing again, which is another thing that maybe you want to not do, but it's really having that routine and maybe a bedtime routine too. Not being on your phone right before you go to bed. That's something that you can cut out. Aaron has done a lot of different things to try to maximize his sleep when he does allow himself to rest. Last night, maybe you can put it in the comments, Aaron, what did we put in? Delta waves. Which is to stimulate that deeper relaxation as a sleep aid. So there's different things you can do. Optimize your environment. Look around. Do you have any bright lights that are shining right on you? Maybe you need to put some blackout curtains, or maybe you need to have some kind of white noise going on. Maybe it's a fan, maybe it is those delta waves, whatever. For you, look around and see potentially what you could do. Put a sleep meditation on, do a tapping session, do some yoga, whatever it is that's really just going to put you in that more relaxed state is really important. And then mindful meditation and deep breathing. All of those are really huge. And then obviously practicing gratitude in bed. That's something that I do every night. Just going to bed with those positive feelings can kind of set you up for a good night's of rest.
Yes. Tapping and putting on the meditation before bed is amazing for me. Last night, yoga was very timely. I did not realize until I was actually doing yoga how tight I was and sore. And I'm like, oh yeah, that kind of hit that spot. So, and then gratitude is also really good because it kind of takes whatever negative that you've been like focusing on, or, the stress of the day, and lets it kind of dissipate so you can fall asleep faster. For me, I have a little gremlin here that's been waking me up. And I think one problem that we have is I've been shutting the door and it's been extremely dark, and I don't think she likes that. So I'm thinking that that's part of our problem. So, also setting boundaries and prioritizing self-care. I think I've said that a bunch of times already today, but it's so important. Set boundaries around your work hours. Learn to delegate tasks to avoid overextending yourself. Or if you can't delegate, set up specific times when you can do them, schedule them so that they don't seem so overwhelming. That's kind of something that I'm working on right now, because I was just like all over the place and then was just in reactionary mode all the time. And highlight the value of self-care activities like exercising, spending time with your loved ones. That's why this week has been so great. Jay and I have been together. We're still working, but we're like in a different environment. Not that you have to leave your home to do that, but for us, it works. And then pursue hobbies outside of work. I'm like, I really kind of gave up on hobbies for a long time. And now I would say probably my hobby is exercise now. So I'm trying to get back into a routine of that. And that really helps me sleep as well, because it's something that can release all of the, the negative things, and it's an outlet. But I know that Becky does knitting. She hasn't been doing it as much lately, but when she has time, she does that. Aaron has volleyball. There's things that we need to do outside of our businesses to be healthy.
Yeah, I think you saying that is really important here. It's to make time for those other things to engage, like Aaron had said at the beginning, holistic, right? It's all the parts of your life, right? And we're trying to find a way for them to all work together, and in harmony, if you will. And sleep is all part of that. And to get the best sleep, you need to make sure those different parts of your life are enriched a little bit as much as you can. Obviously, you can't. There are big priorities, right? And sometimes you do have to show up for them. Not sometimes, but you do. That's part of life. But having these routines in place and these boundaries, like you were talking about, is huge in your success. I love that you shared that.
Yes. There's also another thing that can affect your sleep, and that's medical issues. So kind of pay attention to what's going on with you. Has anyone ever told you that you snore? Do you stop breathing when you sleep? You may need to talk to your doctor and get tested for like sleep apnea. Sleep apnea and other sleep disorders can cause health concerns later on that are far reaching from just, you might think that snoring is no big deal, but over time that can definitely have an effect, and it's worth getting checked out. Yeah, it's not a very comfortable test going for a sleep study, but now they're doing some home ones too. So, you don't want it to get to a point where it's causing, the heart disease and things like that. We're not medical professionals, but they're definitely worth getting checked out. I know that Jay was very opposed to having a CPAP, but now he won't sleep without it. He just has gotten not much benefit from it. I was able to get rid of my CPAP, but I had one for years because partially my weight, and I was unhealthy and I didn't sleep a lot. So it all plays into those things as well.
Yeah, I love that you shared that. I think we have some comments here. Let me pull them up here. Oh, there we go. Thank you, whoever did that. Michelle wrote, there are a lot of days I take 15-minute naps after lunch, the luxury of working from home. I love that. I love my naps too, Michelle. They do energize me for sure.
Yes.
And I find that working from home has helped me to get sleep during lunch and breaks. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think, for not everyone can do those power naps. I am a person who can, and I find great benefit from them. So if that's something that works for you, keep it going. That's great.
My husband can power nap. I really cannot. If I'm going to take a nap, I'm going to come home and take one, because when I wake up, I'm a zombie.
Love it. Do you want to take this one?
Yeah. Odd hours, going from 0 to 100 literally at the flick of lights. Yep. He tries to catch cat naps. Not all of us have fans going, mostly to drown out snoring. 3 to 12 guys sleeping in the same room.
Yeah.
And I also have to say, like, I don't know, Darren, if you have on-call hours where you're at home and the radio goes off, but for years, that radio would wake me up as well. And so TMI, but Jay and I don't sleep in the same room anymore, because years of that trained me that it wasn't good for me. And now we're just so used to our space. And we have dogs that take over our lives too. So you do what you have to do to get the rest and relaxation that you need.
Most definitely. I love that you shared that.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron wrote, yes, we're listening to delta waves. Green noise also really helps. And a sleep meditation. We as a family listen to Bram and Sleep Island. That's so true. So
Nice.
there is on Audibles, there is a sleep meditation called Sleep Island. And at the beginning, he goes, hi, I'm Bram. And then we all have to say, hi, Bram. And if I don't say it, they stop it and restart it until I participate. So that's kind of our thing. But, a lot of times I don't make it very far into that sleep meditation, and it really does work. So, have fun with this, and getting rest and sleep, it really is not a sign of weakness. It is a strength, and it's part of your health. It's very, very, very important. And so try some of these things that we shared. Try some of the things other people have shared on here. Oh, I love that graphic. It is very cute. It's really essential in success in your life and your overall well-being.
I have one cute story about Becky's daughter, Cora. She'll put on a tapping meditation for sleep, and I can't remember if it's the chakras or seasons. I can't remember, but she gets so irritated that she can't make it all the way through because she passes out. So I love the fact that Cora is such a little sponge and is participating in choosing and tapping and all the things. And the fun 5, she loves to make the list now. And she's always asking her mom, can I do that? Can I do that? I want to do that. So let's bring the rest of them up. And then, yes. And Becky can share with us what tapping it is that she gets irritated about. And diffusing essential oils at night too, if that's available to you, is also amazing.
Yeah, I like
lavender is awesome, and doTERRA Serenity as well.
Yeah, awesome.
All right, let's bring the rest of them up.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry. When I was a volunteer, that was a case with the pager going out. Yes, the pager is evil. Necessary but evil.
All right. Wow. What a great wellness toolbox there. All right, Becky. So you have to tell us about the tapping and
well, first of all, I'm pretty sure this all started not even so much for Aaron sleeping, but mine.
Yeah, I'm kind of throwing you both under the bus.
And I've known it. And Kevin's like, I've told you that for years. I said, well, you've never told me to go to the doctor. Tanya told me I have to go to the doctor. So we'll get there. But yes, and of course I just sound terrible today for that. But Cora likes the 4 seasons, and
that's what it is.
Or the 4 elements, or whatever it is, because it's the wind and the water and the whatever. And she doesn't usually make it to the water because I think that's the 4th one that she likes the best. And so yes, she doesn't always make it through that part, but she does love. She has not asked for that lately, so we might have to just bring that back. And I need to get one more like tablet or something. So I don't always love to have her have my iPad in her room, but it's locked, so she can't be on it. But it's still just one more thing. So I need to figure that out for her. But so.
Yeah. And I also love that Talena brought up the diffusing the essential oils at night, right? You mentioned lavender and the doTERRA. I think that's like sleep is one of those things where, you've got to figure out what's right for you. I think, Becky, you mentioned yesterday when we were talking, or maybe it was the day before that, when we were talking about kind of how the environment needs to be for you to get your ideal sleep, right? You like it really, really dark. And I think most people do, right? It's getting that, because our sleep is really based on circadian rhythms and the cycles. And that's why daylight savings time, everybody's kind of like saying we need to get rid of it because it is very actually not great for humans anymore, right? We're not an agricultural society like that anymore, and honestly the farmers hate it the most, so I think kind of understanding those things too. So let's see here. Michelle says Ashley and family have little boxes that play white noise, including water noises. Yeah, there you go. So cool. Just getting that environment right, and making, I think a lot of people talk about the fact that you've got to make the bedroom a sleeping kind of oasis, right? So getting rid of the phones. We've not done that at home, but we're trying to be more, because one of the things I do is I use an app called Sleep Cycle, and it kind of measures the sleep and whatnot. And, so I use that as my alarm. But it used to be a problem because then I was also really easy to get into reading the news and that kind of thing before going to bed. So I got rid of that. I locked that out. And actually, I haven't looked it up yet, but yesterday in the MOS call, Allison Anderson said she uses an app called Opal, OPAL, that locks your phone out at different times. And it was really, she was like, I can't say enough good things about it. So interesting.
Awesome.
I have to look into that.
I had also went and re-downloaded a sleep one called Shut Eye, and that also is an alarm, although I'm pretty sure I slept through that alarm and the first two, and then Tanya calls me this morning. So
are you up?
Kylene had to wake me up this morning too, so I'm right there with you, Becky.
It was a pretty tough morning for getting up this morning. So, but
yeah.
All right. And then Tanya, can you tell us about this graphic, please?
Well, I love sloths. So when I think of sloths, that's my inner spirit animal.
I love it.
And
did you design this?
I got it off of Canva, but then I redid it and put the sloths in there because I'm like, you know what? This topic is about embracing your inner sloth. Be cute, get rest, all of those things. So, and rest is productive. So many people think that it's lazy, but it's really not. When you're prioritizing that, you're actually able to do so many more things. And I've had to remind myself of that lately.
Yeah. Very, very true. Yeah. Sometimes you just, for sure. Well, I love it. And I knew so you did design it, even though you started with Canva, you designed it. That's designing. So Tanya, Gracie B Doodle Designs. Check that stuff out if you like that. Okay. Well, anything else that we need to cover on sleep there, other than we should all go take a nap?
Yeah. I think we're good, and apologize for throwing you guys under the bus, but I thought it was very important.
It is very important.
Yeah. We all need to be reminded of these things. So that's good, right? So, all right. Well, let's hear a quick word about the upcoming Fundamentals Live program happening June 7th and 8th. And I've got a little something to share with folks after we get done with that. So let's listen to that, and then I'll share the gift we're going to give people. So one moment here.
Are you overwhelmed? Is work-life balance a problem? Are you stuck trying to figure out what to do to grow your small business? Or are you just afraid or feeling alone? The secret to overcoming it all is a strong foundation.
My name's Aaron Montgomery. I'm the author of the Fundamentals of Business Success book, and I'm invested in helping people work on their businesses, not just in them. The fundamentals are essential for lasting, fulfilling success.
Think of the fundamentals like a treasure map with special tools. It shows you where to go so you don't get lost, saving you time and money. This foundation is your plan and your belief system that keeps you going. It's about taking small, consistent steps every day, building up over time to reach your goals.
You might be searching for success without knowing where to start, but we know this foundation works. Aaron is here to guide you in creating your own treasure map. We are ready to invest in you. Are you ready to invest in yourself?
Sign up today for this one-of-a-kind live event. You will leave with a clear purpose, strategies to achieve your goals, a custom action plan, time management mastery, and the courage to conquer fear. Are you ready to invest in yourself? You deserve the support your business needs. Sign up now for one of the limited number of seats.
All right. Well, like the gentleman said there at the end, sign up now for one of the limited seats. But I mentioned we've got a gift, and we were just thinking about this, right? Like, so we don't have VIPs in the sense of what some people, like, oh, you're extra special because you paid more or whatever, right? Like that kind of a VIP. Well, what we're interested in are the VIPs that are very interested people, right? That are interested in investing in themselves. And we wanted to show them that that investment in themselves brought good things, right? And so we came up with this opportunity. So if you sign up before April 15th, which is, I know it's crazy to think that we're already deep in March. It's almost, in fact, this is the last week of March. So April 15th is right around the corner. So if you sign up, just sign up today. Don't worry, that way you're not worried about it. Sign up today, and we're going to give you a gift of 6 post-event virtual, what we're calling milestone meetings. They're accountability sessions. They're going to start the week after on June 14th and then happen every other Friday until August 23rd. And the milestone meetings are really kind of designed to keep that momentum going for you, right? You're going to do all this stuff and you're going to be really motivated and inspired after you leave the event. And yes, you're going to have all those things to kind of get you going forward, but you're going to go back home and life's going to happen. And so how do we keep that momentum rolling? And so we're going to do that through these biweekly check-ins. And they're going to be more than your average kind of, just Q&A, right? Like, oh, check in. Here's the question I came up with, right? These are really kind of stepping stones that are going to reduce the friction so that you're continuously moving forward towards really kind of solidifying that business that you love. So this is a $300 value that we are giving as a gift for anybody that signs up before April 15th. So if you have not registered already, get over there and do that. Go to osg.link/fun live, and that'll take you to the page and you can get signed up for that. So I kind of loosely announced it in the Facebook group yesterday, mentioned it on the live I did with Stephanie last night, and we are kind of officially announcing it here, and it will be on the website a little bit later today. So if you guys are interested, it's I think that's a huge gift, and I'm excited to be able to give that to folks. So ladies, what are your thoughts on that? Becky, I'll start with you.
I think it's fantastic. When you and I were talking about it, it's like, you go through it, you get all the information and you're ready to go home and get going. And then if you just get stuck a few days in, then what? We're going to give that option to get together that week later, and then every other week after that, to keep you going and have that place that you can, feel free to come and ask those questions. And you're going to, work with those that have already been there, that did the same information, got the same information with you, went through the same things, just keeping that connection going and really just helping to make sure that you're not stuck anywhere in the process.
Yeah, agreed. That's awesome. Tanya, what about you?
Absolutely. Just from having experience with ongoing training and access to a group of people, it can do such wonderful things, not only for your business, but for you as a person. It is a tremendous gift to experience that. So don't sleep on this. Go get registered.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. Kylene?
Yeah, I just know that, when you leave this event, you're going to be energized and like ready to go. You'll have all your tools, and then you're going to be working on your business, right? And then that energy might start to go down. So these meetings are really powerful to keep that energy going, that excitement going of all that new learning that you have and all those tools that you put together during this live event. you're going to be able to keep it going with these follow-up meetings. So
Yeah.
I think it's huge. It is a
Yeah.
great gift.
Yeah. Well, and the milestone meetings, right, are there's a reason why we do this 2-week frame. That's how our masterminds go too. And there's a specific reason for that. We need to kind of get out there and start taking action on this stuff that we've kind of, these new things that we're trying to implement. And like you said, we've got that energy when we leave. And so we get out there the first week, we're really kind of rolling. The second week, now we're starting to kind of, okay, some roadblocks are showing up. We're starting to lose some of that energy and whatnot. And now we're coming up with, because we've taken the action, right now we're having new bits of feedback and new challenges that we're faced with. So we get back together at that 2-week mark, because that's kind of, we got to fill up the tank again. And we come in. These meetings are kind of like mini masterminds in a sense. We're not full on mastermind, but just to have, okay, I'm going to set some new goals for the next 2 weeks, right? Because we can accomplish things if, okay, what can I do in 2 weeks? Those are things that we can accomplish, right? The thing that I'm looking at 3 years from now, a year from now, those feel a little bit more challenging to kind of see all the path to get there. But I can see the path to get to something I'm trying to accomplish in 2 weeks. And so, yeah, that's again why two weeks is important. And again, just that momentum that you're going to get, and the timing of it, I think, is perfect too, especially for our space here in the decorating space. You're really kind of right up to getting set for the fourth quarter. So, I mean, I'm just like so incredibly excited to see people what they're going to do this year, the ones that are invested in themselves to come join us at the Fundamentals Live. So, all right. Well, real quick here, I saw this comment that I wanted to get in here from Talena as well. She says, I love my sleep. I mix lavender and cedar wood. Somehow that does more for me than just lavender. I also love a blend called RC because it's reducing snoring for both my husband and I. So I don't know, Kylene, do I need that?
Depends on how tired you are. When you're way overtired, that's when you snore. Otherwise, you're okay.
Yeah, I'm okay. All right.
I love the idea of adding that cedar wood. That's such a grounding one for any of that to help with that, that much more. So I might have to try that one.
There you go. Check that out. Good. All right. Well, shall we dive into the uncommon mindset here?
Let's do it.
All right. Here we go.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yes. Okay. I did notes last night. I hope they make sense now this morning because I was a little tired last night when I was doing them. But
yeah, it's all good.
We've been reviewing all these we're on week 12, right?
Yep.
And I just can't tell you how much, invaluable these last weeks have been. They've really helped me better to understand my business and myself. There's been a lot of steps there. And it's been awesome to dig through them. And I'm excited for June so that we can dig further into them. I don't know. I can see the end result and I just want people to arrive with us and get that same energy and all the information. So
Yep. And this 12-week program, right, is kind of the extension then too, right? So we've got the milestone meetings that people can be at, but my guess is some people are going to want this to be able to reference back. And so that's why we're building this other workshop here. It's a online virtual. So that way people can access it whenever they need but still go through, okay, great. I did that. Now I want to go through it again. And so we've kind of started developing this 12-week program here. And you just hit it, right? That's the real magic is just understanding of your business, getting clarity on what's important. And it's not the result or completing the task, right? So we go through these 12 weeks, we have certain things that we're talking about, and we have exercises that help people kind of ground that kind of thing. But it's not the completion of the task. You don't have to do all of the things to get the benefits of this. It's really about that kind of intentional. We'll probably use that word a lot. I know it's probably been used a lot already, and we love that word around here. That intentional design or because if you're somebody that's been in business for a while, you're kind of going, well, I'm already in business, I don't need to design my business. Well, redesign, reinvigorate, right? Just kind of bring that love of your business back is really what this is about, whether you're starting off or whether you've been in business for years, right? One of my favorite comments that I've gotten about our success over the years is, for the first time in 13 years, I'm paying myself, right? That's, oh my gosh, I'm in love with this. I finally am getting what I desired out of this, right? That's one of the bits of feedback that we've gotten about our success group over the years. And so it's, we're all going to fall in love with our business in a way that we can be proud of it, and we can create it exactly how we want to envision it. But the only way to do that is through intention, through coming back and working on your business, building this foundation, using the fundamentals to get there. And so that's really what the fundamentals are. It's a structure to give us that foundation so we have more clarity and confidence. So the final week of the workshop, so this is 12-week, this is week 12 here. It's really a culmination of all of those things, with that cherry on top of being empowered to make your vision a reality, right? And a big part of that is just understanding that it's our responsibility to take the actions, but that empowers us, right? That gives us that nobody can take it away from you when you are responsible for it, right? Like, oh, well, that was Becky's job, so it's her fault, right? And like, no, that's not it. It's your responsibility to inspire Becky, right? I'm just using Becky as an example here because she's sitting here, so don't think that she's not doing it. But but I guess before we get too far into that, because again, as I normally do, I get ahead of myself here because I get so excited about it. But maybe if you could just recap the prior 11 kind of segments and some of the quick key takeaways. Because as you mentioned, right, it's been invaluable to kind of come back and think about those things again. And maybe you've had an opportunity to do some things again. Maybe some things were already there, or maybe some things you just didn't have time for yet, right? But that process of thinking through these things. So would you kind of give us those previous 11?
Yep, absolutely. And I agree. There's been things that I've done, and there's some steps in these steps as we went that I'm not quite there or haven't completed yet. And that's the process of running through these and continuing to build on them. So we started out week 1 was clarify your reason. That is a huge one, to understand why you're in business. Not just to make money. Everybody wants to make money, but what is your true reason for being in business? Why did you start your business? All those things. Week 2, we did the intrinsic goal getting, separating yourself from the pack, achieving your goals, just setting yourself apart. Week 3 was taking action. We talked about the mastering the art of saying yes and no.
Which is really about saying no.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My notes had yes and no, but I was in my brain as I'm trying to say it. I'm like, but it's really about no. Yes.
We're really good at saying yes. Yeah.
We are. I've done that a few times.
Yeah.
Week 4 took us into time optimization. So we talked about the never ending improvement, how continue to build and learn and do all the things. So, and then week 5 was know your numbers. Yeah. Of all the weeks, knowing your numbers has really been between that and 6 with pricing for profit. Those 2 for me have been probably the hugest part for me to learn and understand. Those were not things that I did well or understood before going through the steps. So those have been huge for me. Yeah. So yes, week 6 was pricing for profit, in the perceived value. We talked about that. Yeah. Week 7 was the systematic processes, just getting organized. How does your business flow? How do you, I guess for me, production, how does production go? Which steps? I'm actually still working on that. I'm still working on some checklists that go with my orders to make sure that all steps are getting done. I've been missing some steps, some of the final steps to get things out the door and get paid. That's been the step that's been missing. Week 8 was the intentional relationships. That's where we talked about the masterminds and how important that is. Yeah. sorry, Cora just came in, so I was looking over at her. Week
No
9
problem.
was the marketing groundwork, having that marketing plan. There again, that was one thing I hadn't done. I don't know that I still have it quite done, but I understand it better.
Uh-huh.
So that definitely helps.
Yeah.
Week 10, we talked about engagement and insights. What we talked about was the word of mouth marketing.
Yeah.
How important that is, and then how to be intentional, even with the word of mouth marketing.
Yeah.
And then last week we discussed the strategic success mapping, having that review cycle mindset. And there again, that was something in my prior years of business I had not done or thought about doing, as far as reviewing, the month before, the week before, even the day of. So those are things that we need to do. So
Hi, Cora.
okay, let's wait.
Yeah, I think Becky, and just going through that list right there, right? We don't have to get any of it done. We get value out of, just the thinking through that process, right? Okay, start with why, knowing on my numbers. Okay, what do I need to do to get a little better there? And then, like you said, you're working on your systematic processes. So it is that constant, never ending improvement of it. Okay, cool. You had a process in place, but you discovered that you were missing a step, right? Okay, now I need to go back in and fix that. And so you've gotten a little bit better. And every time you get a little bit better, business gets a little easier. It gets a little bit more on autopilot. It gets a little bit more easier to love, I guess would be a good way to put it, right? And so that's what this whole thing's about. It's not about, did I get it done or did I not get it done? And I didn't accomplish it, I need to beat myself up, right? It's about celebrating those things that we are getting done as patting ourselves on the back so we can rebuild that self-trust, learning from anything that didn't go right. Like, you realize you had a missing step in your process when something didn't go right? You didn't get paid. And so from that, I think that's really, really crucial. So we got a comment over here that I want to touch on real quick. You highlighted it. Thank you for that.
Yep.
Before we get too far into this. So how important is developing and then in quotes, so just we'll put, I love using the air quotes, so we'll do that. Company culture for a small business. So in my opinion, Becky, I think this is crucial. Now, here's why it's crucial. Not in the, we have to act like the Fortune 500s, and because honestly, we actually need this company culture more so than a Fortune 500 company, because they've got deep pockets to spend on any errors they make in judgment. But here's what a company culture is. A company culture is your values. What is important to you? And those values then tell you who your ideal customers are, what products and services you should be providing. It gives us so much information when we have a clear company culture, or we'll call it a brand. What's your brand? But your brand is really your personality, right? And so the company culture, the one other piece of that too that is so important and crucial to work on is, what are your non-negotiables, right? Like, if your company culture is all about delivering on time, well, then you better have a non-negotiable in there that you always deliver on time. Because the second you don't deliver on time, all that work you did to say that our company culture was about delivering on time just goes out the window, and you have to rebuild that trust. In developing a company culture, I think, is a crucial step in all of this. And we get into that in the marketing groundwork fundamental in the book, and then it's a big part of what we're going to talk about during week 9 of the workshop. So we talked about the marketing plan during marketing groundwork, but that's the final piece after you have done the defining your company culture, or as we call it, a brand, and then define your ideal customers, and then figure out your product mix, right? Those all kind of work together, and then they become your marketing plan, is the way that we look at that. So what's your quick take on translation of that, I guess?
Well, and I hadn't really thought about the marketing side of it. I was looking at the clarify your reason side of it. I mean, that's where you start. That's where you realize what your business is, why you're doing it, what you're doing, not so much what you're doing, but why you're in business, which creates that culture of, like you were saying, what's your value that you're giving to them.
I think that's great. I think that's really, really good. And honestly, in the book, and we'll talk about in the workshop too, I mentioned that, right? Like when we're designing our brand, our company brand, and which also is the company culture, you've already done a lot of that work when you did the clarifying your reason, right? What are your values? Why are you doing this? You've got all that kind of in place. And then, kind of making it into a brand is then, okay, how do we prove that to our customers? Because our brand is what our customers or potential customers perceive. It's not what we say. It's not the pretty mission statement we put on the wall, right? If I didn't live every day that I wanted to help people fall deeper in love with their business, people would go, oh, well, okay, that sounds great and all, Aaron, but right. But I think I live that on a daily basis. I think about it nonstop. There's non-negotiables to me that, I'm not willing to allow the blaming, complaining, excuse making to rule the day, right? I understand commiserating, but I'm going to be the first person that goes, okay, but why? Right. Okay, but why? Right. And digging deeper. So, what is that for you? Right. And I know, Becky, big part of yours is that community and is that side of it. Right. And you act that, you live that on a daily basis with what you do. So, okay. So here's a good follow up to that then, Becky. I'll let you take this one first if you want. I certainly can, but I don't want to overtake it here. So
No,
does
you're
company
fine.
culture involve introducing any politics or ideology elements to my business?
So my first answer is no. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but I don't do any of the political or any of that kind of stuff in my business. That's not something I'm going to portray or put out there or anything like that. She says, my concern is that my personal values may conflict with modern day corporate values, such as DEI, for example.
Yeah.
I don't know what DEI is. So help me out on that one. You yourself, if it, for a small business, your personal values are going to come through in your business because your business is you are your business. It's, so.
Yeah. I think you're exactly right, Becky. I appreciate you taking that. Right. I don't think it involves introducing that, but at the end of the day, to have a business that we love, again, your personal, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Right. Yep. So, thank you for clarifying that. But here's, yes, I think you're exactly right, Becky. Our culture, our values, right, they're going to come out. So if you're constantly working with people that rub up against your values, you're not going to have a business that you love, right? You might make money, right? But if working with modern day corporate values rub against your values, you will only be able to do that for so long before you just we will self-sabotage when we're not doing what we love, right? When we're not fitting into our values, when we're not, what purpose were you put on this earth for? And that's our reason or your why or whatever you want to call it. Right. And so I think kind of designing your company culture means what are my non-negotiables, right? Am I not into those things? And my personal values rub up against that. I'm not saying you have to bring politics in, right? But just because somebody has different politics than you, they can still have similar values, right? But if they have different values altogether, I think what we're kind of talking about here is where we're kind of splitting hairs a little bit, but our values and our politics are actually different things, right? Like I know politically where I stand, but I find that I have a lot of similar values to people on the opposite end of the spectrum from me in certain areas, right? And so I know where, I want to work with proactive people and I know proactive people on both sides of the political spectrum. So I think if we take out the labels and we focus more on what our values are, then those answers happen pretty quickly, right? So I think letting go of kind of the modern day labels that we put on things and getting back into just what are your values at your core and make that your company culture, and then it'll all work itself out. That's my opinion. So.
I agree. Yep.
All right. Well, Becky, we've got a short time to get there here. Should we? But I love that conversation. So I'd rather do that, right? I'd rather get in and ask have people ask questions and answer them. And then guess what? We'll be back next week. So should we come back next week or do you want to try to get through this?
Come
back next week.
There we go.
Come back next week.
Perfect. Cora, I love it. I love it. That'll all right. So we're gonna put this on hold. So we're gonna get into the 12th week. We went through it again. So let's I want to hit the 11 one more time. I think we do have a minute to do that here, and then we can bring back Tanya and Kylene, and maybe they've got some things on company culture. I like that. But Becky, thank you for sharing those 11. I'm going to hit them one more time here. So clarifying your reason, and the one main point that we hit on of the kind of 5 days of that week. So there are 4 other things, but why did you start your business, right? That getting into that why was where we really focused on. And that was, I can't believe this, Becky, that was all the way back on January 3rd,
Right.
Our 15th episode of this, and we're in episode 27. So pretty cool. And then the second one was intrinsic goal getting. Kind of separating yourself from the pack was the area that we focused on there. But really, what's the difference? That whole week is about what's the difference between a goal setter and a goal getter. And then number 3, which was the 3rd week here, is all about taking action. And then the one area that we focused on was, again, like you said, mastering the art of yes and no. And again, what to say yes to and what to say no to. So it is mastering the art of yes and no. But I found that what we really need to focus on is learning how to say no a little bit better, right? So 4th week is time optimization, and that's that never-ending improvement. Just kind of making a commitment to that was what we really focused on during OSG Live here. And then the 5th week is knowing your numbers, and you talked about reducing your overhead and then how that goes. But just kind of knowing your numbers in general. And then, like I said, we focused that week on reducing our overhead, but a lot of that's so crucial in week 5 there to what then we do in week 6, which is pricing for profit. And if you don't know your numbers, it's impossible, in my opinion, it's impossible to price for profit.
Mm-hmm.
Could I price without knowing my numbers? Yes. 75% of the small businesses that I've talked to at these seminars are in that boat where they don't know their numbers and they're clearly pricing their products. But are they pricing it for profit? They can't answer that until they, get to the end of the year and they find out that they're, So maybe they are, maybe they aren't, right? So, and then the 7th week was systematic processes and how to build that and doing all that stuff. But we really focused on OSG Live and getting organized. The 8th week is all about intentional relationships, your success team. And, we were able to really kind of dig deep into masterminds. It's certainly something that, I'm personally in, I just counted the other day. I'm like, oh, I'm actually in 3, 3 of my own. Plus, I then facilitate 5 other masterminds. So yeah, masterminds important to us. Becky, you're in at least 2 that I know of. So, 9 was marketing groundwork. And again, we talked about that in answering the question about company culture. So I think that was great. And going, like you said, back up to clarify your reason. 10, engagement and insight, right? How do you engage with your customers? How do you pull out that insight that allows you to get better? Really it's about, we want to do business with our existing customers. That's way less expensive. And so if we can kind of keep them coming back, and then allow them to be our salespeople through word of mouth marketing. So we got into that pretty deep in week 10. And then last week, as you mentioned, strategic success mapping and that review cycle mindset, right? It's all about the plant. So from the book, it's all about the plant, kind of getting our mindset right. And then the second phase is prepare, which is kind of designing it, the first creation, as Dr. Covey calls it in 7 Habits. And then the most important step, which most of us miss a lot of times, is the pollinate, right? It's the action, getting out there and doing it so we can get the feedback to make adjustments. So there we go. That's all of it. You did a fantastic job sharing that with us. So next week we will come back and we will get into this 12th week a little bit deeper. We are going to talk about really kind of what the empowerment side of this is. So we're going to kind of tie it all together with a nice cherry on top. So, all right. Well, Becky had to run, so I'm going to bring Tanya and Kylene back. And okay. And there we go.
I'm back.
Becky's. Okay,
Sorry.
no you're fine. You're fine. Hey, that's part of it. All right. So we didn't get to the topic, but we got to the topic, so to speak. So I love that. What are your guys' thoughts? Tanya, I'll start with you. when we talked about company culture there?
Yeah. I think it's important, like if it's something that is very important to you and is part of you, then go for it. But you have to realize that there could be people who might not come to you. There is a business, a service provider in my area that is very religious, and that's great. But I have heard in the community that it makes some people uncomfortable because they'll go in there for their appointment and everyone's praying and things like that. And I think sometimes it's hard for employees if I think that they do a good job of preparing them, but if it's not something in their comfort zone, then I think that it could be harder for the business to get employees, get customers, things like that. They'll definitely have their people. And I always say that I may not be your cup of tea and you may not be mine. But that is one thing to consider. I personally don't put, my politics or religion out there in my business. We try to cater to everyone. Some people have come in and asked us to do some things that are not my beliefs. And we just don't post those on social media. We might still take care of them. But those are all things to consider in that culture.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, that's a good point, right? Like you do have to understand there are consequences to everything that we do.
Mm-hmm.
But I think at the end of the day, if I'm living in my values and I'm not having my values rubbed up against all the time, then I'm going to be successful, right? Yes. Am I going to maybe lose some business? But like you said, we're not everybody's cup of tea, right? Like I'm with you. I don't mix my politics in with business side of things, but at the same time, I always stay very true to my values, and therefore, when things are rubbing up against me, I go thanks, but no thanks, right? And that's okay. So I think it is that balancing act, and I appreciate that you brought that up, Tanya. That we have to have that kind of balancing act to make it clear. So, Kylene, I know you've got to run, and
love you.
I gotta run, but I just wanted to say, I think it is really important, and it comes back to having that clarity of why you're in business and what's important to you. You're going to attract the people that value who you are, and then you're going to share that with your employees, and that's going to create that culture by you being the leader, because that's why you're there. But if you're trying to fit a mold of a potential customer, like Aaron had said, you're not creating a business you love. It's not meaningful to you anymore when you start changing those. And then just being aware of some of the like Tanya was saying, some of those blindside is what I'm saying, but that's not the right word. But being aware of that potential outcome, that you may have some people that say no thank you, and just be okay with that. There's going to be more people out there for you, as long as you're clear with your message and consistent. I think that's important.
Yeah, I think you're right. And again, I think that just ties into what we've all been saying here, is that it does come back to just, what are your values? Let's live from that, and then let the chips fall where they may, right? And so again, you can set your business up however you want, but if you're constantly doing business with people that don't value the same things that you value, I don't believe that you're going to have a very long amount of success with that, right? You may lose some business on the other side up front, but I think ultimately you're going to be, it just kind of like being around your tribe, right? We have to be intentional about the people that we're around, and sometimes we just got to go, okay, great, I appreciate you, but now it's time for me to move on, right? Or that they're just not part of your tribe. So I think that's really important. So, all right, Kylene, I know you've got to run, so I'll let you bop out. But
all right, bye everyone.
Bye.
I'm going to let you two finish it, because I believe I have a child that's not out of bed yet.
Okay, all right.
At least I can't get him to answer me. So hope you guys have a great week.
We'll talk to you soon, Becky.
There.
Bye. Oh, sorry. I got it. All right, Tanya. Well, so yes, perfect. This is great anyhow. So you put us on ice, and then we'll get everybody on their way for the day. So.
All right. Well, I neglected to bring my choose board with me this week, and I have a travel one. But fun fact, Franny ate a second laptop case zipper, so I had to switch laptop cases. So
Yeah.
ICE stands for Inspire, Collaborate, and Encourage. And part of that is choose. I believe you can choose what you need as often as you need it. This week, I am choosing to focus on me and what I need and what my husband and I need. We came to Southern Iowa. We're still working. We're having great conversations. And we're also having downtime. We're getting some of that intentional rest that I think that both of us needed. We were kind of running on fumes there for a few weeks. So that's kind of what I'm choosing, is to focus on me, refocus, and get back to a routine and a schedule that's going to allow me to exercise and drink my water and get the right foods in my body and do the things that I need to for my business. And that's going to make my cup full so that I can fill others' cups. So
yeah. I love that. I love that. Well, Tanya, if you need to have an extra choose board just so you have it in all the places, I know where you can go and get one.
Exactly. I'm going to have to bring one down here just specifically for that.
Yeah. So yeah, tvivmn.chipley.com/choose. I put the link in both the Facebook event and on YouTube, so you can just click right on it. And then you go get one of these beautiful boards that you can keep with you. And you've got the half size ones, which are the travel ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Plus all sorts of other amazing products that are just, you say on the site, actually, and I think this is so true, visual reminders to choose what you need as often as you need it. So go check that out, everyone.
And they're also great conversation starters. On the TikTok last night, I had a new shirt on that says, in my let them era. And then on the sleeve, it says let them era. And I have other ones that I'll be putting on there as well. And so it's a conversation starter of, what does your shirt say? Oh, what does that mean? Why that?
Uh-huh.
And I love that too, because it's a good way to get some of those things that maybe people don't think about. Another one is, don't limit your challenges, challenge your limits. I have this on a shirt, and I also put it on my tumbler, because sometimes I need that visual cue.
Yeah, I love it. All right. Well,
what are you choosing, Aaron?
Sorry, I put my choose board up and then I forgot to mention what. So just be in love is what it says. Yes. You have to read my terrible left-handed handwriting, but yeah, that's just stood out to me so much. I mean, being able to offer this gift to people that sign up, it all comes back to that. Like, I just want to be in love with what I do every day. I want to pop up out of bed, whether I got no sleep or not, and have this passion to do things, right? So, and that'll be a good reminder that, hey, you know what? To really be able to get this stuff done, get that sleep, get that rest, be intentional about that. So yeah, I'm caught up. I feel great. So we got to get you guys get some sleep.
Well, I'm going to try not shutting my door tonight for a little gremlin who
test, right?
wants me to wake up.
Yeah. And to be honest, that's a really good tip right there, Tanya, is that sometimes it's got to be a little bit of a science project. Okay, why am I not getting sleep? Okay, it's the gremlin. Well, why is the gremlin up, right? As you mentioned. Well, close the door. So now I'm going to try tonight with the door open. Does that help, right? And so yeah, for sure. Just keep trying and figuring out what works for you. I think much earlier, Darren said he's on a never-ending search for the scent they use at resorts. Right?
Oh.
He probably sleeps better there. All right. Sorry, I'm choking here a little bit. All right. Well, Tanya, thank you so much. Really great stuff. And thanks to Becky and Kylene for all of their information today. Thank you guys for jumping in here. I really appreciate the questions. As we said, I'd rather just answer whatever questions and talk about whatever you guys have. And so we're always willing to do that. So please keep that coming. And we will talk to everyone next week, and looking forward to what's in the wellness toolbox and in the uncommon mindset next week.
All right. Sounds good. Have a great week, everyone.
Bye.